There's such a frenzy in real estate, especially right in the heart of Austin, Texas, and other major cities, that the price is becoming questionable to unaffordable for many buyers. So a lot of people are looking outside of town in more rural areas where you can get a lot more home and a lot more land for the money. Joining me now is a man who's been selling real estate since 1976 in Houston, John Little of the Pinnacle Group. Nice to see you, John.
Good to see you too, Robert.
Okay, so let's talk a little Austin history here. Now, you moved here in the mid-'80s, is that right? And you went to town,
Correct.
But it wasn't such a good market back then.
No, it wasn't. 1985, the market in Texas was starting to decline, except in Austin. The bottom hadn't fallen out here yet, but in areas like Houston, it had been bad for a number of years. So, but by 1986, the bottom fell out in Austin. From the early 2000s to 2007 and 8, you know, the era of funny money. You know, you fog a mirror, you could buy a house. If you held a hammer, you could call yourself a builder.
Now, we've had more than a number of real estate agents scratching their heads. They're like, how did we get here? Tell us about here, and why is there such demand? What is driving the frenzy?
Well, there's interest rates are at historical low. Recently, they've been under 3%. That's unheard of. The pandemic caused people to realize that in corporations could realize that their employees could work from home and work remotely. You're also getting like cities like Austin, you know, people are getting tired of big cities. And with the pandemic, you got people that don't want to put their homes on the market. They don't want to get exposed to the virus. So the inventory has just tightened up and tightened up and tightened up. And it creates a great market for sellers. But then again, it's gone from a seller's market to an auction market, highest bidder market. And where it's heading, there's not enough experience to predict what's going to happen next.
Wow. Okay, so let's say you buy that $1 million property. Well, then you've got $1 million tax valuation, which could run $15,000 to $20,000 a year. Rural Texas is looking better and better. We'll have more coming up. We're back with our conversation with John Little, who's been selling homes in the Austin area since the mid-'80s. He's never seen a market like this. And we talked about, okay, it's a great seller's market. It's not even a seller's market anymore. You called it a bidding war market. Talk about the taxes in the city versus out here on a little ranch.
Yeah, when you're looking in the city on that kind of a price range, you're probably minimum $15,000 a year.
John, you'd mentioned what you called a gentleman's ranch. A gentleman's ranch?
Yeah, so the criteria for that is basically 10 acres or more. You know, you can get tax exemptions when we're just talking about taxes, because you can have livestock, or you can grow crops, or you can even have wildlife exemptions, and that's you know, added to your homestead exemption, and if you're over 65 exemption, and then add on your ag exemptions, well, then you can get your taxes lower, and so you can buy more property.
So John, we're near the town of Paige, Texas. Can you tell us a little bit about Paige and this beautiful surrounding area?
Well, Paige is what we'd call in Texas a little spot in the road. So that's between Elgin and Giddings. East of here, Giddings, you can be here about 15 minutes. Nice sized town, all the amenities, H-E-B, big grocery stores, same way with Elgin. So we're just like maybe a mile off of 290, major freeway, interstate. That connects the town, so it's very accessible. That's a good thing about rural, is that generally you're close to major highways and very accessible, so you're free to get around the state. Like from here, you can be to Houston in an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. Back to Austin, 35 minutes. You can be down to San Antonio in an hour and a half tops.
So John, we're standing on 35 acres for sale with a lovely home. Take us on a little tour of this beautiful gentleman's ranch.
Well, one of the cool things about this property is when you come down the county road, you can see the house sitting high on top of the hill. You turn up the driveway, And again, nothing says Texas like a wraparound porch. Ranch style, one-story home. You come up the driveway, it's got a nice carport, two-car garage. Home only has 2 bedrooms, but the garage easily convertible. But it's open space. The other amenities here that are attractive is a 1,600 square foot metal building warehouse, shop. He's got another 20 by 18, what I call a man cave. It's foam insulated where you know, got to have all his guns and fishing gear, and it's crossed fence. Obviously, you'd want that for a gentleman's ranch. It's wooded acreage in the back where this owner keeps his horses. Well, one of the advantages of moving out in rural, and rural doesn't mean all of a sudden you're in the boonies and you know you're far from everything. Quite the opposite. Yeah, you've got some large ranches, which is cool. You don't want everything subdivided up, but that's the attraction here. Is it's peace, it's calming, it's relaxing. It's you literally, as you get out here, you're already letting go. Once you leave the city, and you're just, you know, it's where you chill. You know, that's why you come to the country. But you don't have to be remote and away from everything to be there.